Hi guys, welcome to the next video in this series on Motown guitar. We're going to be covering a track I did just in the previous video actually. This is the title track, What's Going On. But this is the Donny Hathaway version of the song, released 1972 from his live album. Now, one thing I need to do to correct myself actually here is that I mentioned in the last video that this was actually Cornell Dupree playing on this particular track, but as it turns out, it's actually Phil Upchurch who played these particular parts. The album was divided into two, side A, side B. Side A, I believe, was in at the Troubadour, I think it was in Hollywood, and that was Phil Upchurch playing on that particular side of the album, and the second side of the album was in Greenwich Village. I think it was the bitter end, Greenwich Village in Manhattan, and that was Cornell Dupree playing on that second side of the album. So apologies for that, I just had to correct myself on that one. So it is Phil Upchurch, and you can definitely hear his jazz leanings on this particular track. It's probably, well, it's definitely much more involved than the Marvyn Gaye version of the song. There's a lot of sort of more jazz kind of chord voicings and lines in this. It's definitely, you can hear it comes from a jazz player's approach. Without any further ado, this is going to be probably a bit more of a lengthy video because there's a lot involved in this particular version of it. So we're going to go through the parts as carefully as we can. So without any further ado, let's get stuck into the song. The beginning of the song starts off with Donny Hathaway playing his electric piano. It's just him on his own playing the intro, and then the band comes in and you just got these kinds of okay, there's those two chords that come in at the intro, and the first chord is an E major 7 chord. That one there, it's just a root 5 major 7. It's the 7th fret of the first string, 9th of the second, 8th of the third, 9th of the fourth, and the 7th of the 5th string. So it's just that, it's a standard kind of E major 7 chord. And then there's a chord, it's an A over B chord. Some people call these slash chords. It's basically an A shape, but it's got a B on the bass. Okay, so I'm playing kind of those 3 notes, the 5th fret of the 2nd string, 6th of the 3rd, 7th of the 4th string, and then I'm going to skip the A string and I'm going to play the 7th fret of the low E string. Okay, to give you that that sort of sound. It's an A chord, but it's got a B on the bass. Okay, so very commonly used chord, as you can hear. They're the 2 chords at the beginning, and then he'll come in with a verse, which is going to be back to that E major 7 chord. Now, one thing I should say is that right from the outset, the rhythm style is very much in that sort of early 70s soul sort of guitar sound, I guess. And by that I mean one of the specific things that the guitar players used to play is they would play from a half step down into the chord that they want to get to. So in this case, you know, our target chord is that E major 7. But what you'd often hear is like a... is that half step moving into the chord, okay? So you hear that kind of right throughout the song here. So you've got that. And then, so as I said, he starts on the verse, which is the E major 7 chord again. Mother, mother, there's too many of you dying. So, okay, there's the second chord in that verse. It's the C sharp minor chord. You can play it. I would probably call it more like a C sharp minor 7. It does have that B in there. So the bulk of the chord, the main part of the chord is it's pretty much all played on the ninth fret of the top 4 strings. Okay, you can put in the C sharp on the bottom if you want to put that in if you think it fits. On the recording, it's not entirely clear whether that's always in there. A lot, this is done live, so there's a lot of changing, between the way that he would play the chord voicing, etc. So you can definitely just play it like that, or if you want to add that C sharp, you definitely can. Okay, on the ninth fret of the low E string. So you just got that. So there's that slide. To go into the 2 chord, into the F sharp minor 7, he goes from the C sharp minor 7 into the C sharp dominant 7 by introducing the F, okay, the major third here. So it's just going to be, it's a little passing chord which goes from a minor into a minor 7 into a dominant 7 chord, which is that. Okay, so that's just going to be, it's just a small change from our minor 7 chord. Again, it's just the ninth fret of the first, ninth of the second, ninth of the, sorry, not ninth, it now becomes the 10th of the third, and back to the ninth of the D string, the 4th string. So you've got just that little sort of C sharp dominant 7 shape. It's just a very quick passing chord which leads us into the F sharp minor 7, which is that one. Okay, so that's going to just be, again, this is a standard root 5 minor 7 shape. It's going to be the 9th fret of the 1st string, 10th of the 2nd, 9th of the 3rd, and then you go to the 11th fret of the 4th string. You come to that. Okay. Does that, and then it repeats that. I've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. So that part is just going to be a B sus chord. It's a B sus 4, which is that, which is going to be the 7th fret of the 1st, 7th of the 2nd string, 9th of the 3rd, and 9th of the 4th string as well. And then it resolves to a straight B chord. Okay, and again, we're only using the top 4 strings here. So that's just a straight B chord we're resolving to. Okay, so it's going to be 7th fret 1st, 7th fret 2nd, 8th fret on the 3rd, and then 9th fret on the 4th string. Okay, and then he repeats, there's like a double verse at the very beginning. And after that, he'll go to the, it's like a pre-chorus, I guess you'd call this. Picket lines. So he does that there, okay. So this is an F sharp minor 7 chord again that we just played before in the verse. Picket lines. Then you've got these octaves. Okay, so he's kind of taken throughout the song. He's kind of taken like a chord melody approach to the song, and he's also very careful to stay out of the piano, the electric piano parts. One of the part that Donny Hathaway's playing. He's very careful to stay out of his way. It's very well. They work great. Well, they work great together on this recording. But he'll just state the chord, and then he'll play the octaves. So the octaves are the E to the C sharp. So the E as octaves is going to be the 12th fret of the 1st string. You're going to skip the 2nd string, and you're going to play the 9th fret of the 3rd string. So they're both E notes, and you slide that down 3 frets to the C sharp, which now becomes the 9th fret of the 1st, 6th fret of the 3rd. Punish me, brutality. So then he'll go into the B sus. Talk to me, so you can see there's the sus to B. What's going on? And then he resolves that into the E chord, E major 7 that we started with. So now we're into the chorus part of the song. So he states the chord again, which is going to be the E major 7 chord. And then he plays those octaves after that, okay? So it's, and the octaves, the lines are, it's the melody. So, what's going on? It's kind of like a question and answer from the vocals, I guess, in this part. So he states the E major 7, and then the octaves are the G sharp, which is the, you're going to call this the 16th fret of the 1st string to the 13th fret of the 3rd string. And you're going to skip that 2nd string again as we do with these octaves. And then from there he moves to the F sharp note, 2 frets down. And then from there he goes to the E note, which is 2 frets down again. So those 3 notes are going to be G sharp, F sharp, and E. Alright, so that, the beginning of the chorus, what's going on? What's going on? So the 2nd chord now he states is that C sharp minor chord that we spoke about before, same line after that. Okay, so you've got the E to the C sharp with these octaves played in between the chords. So in total, it will be what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? E again. I gotta know what's going on. C sharp minor. Okay, so that's kind of the chorus section, at least the first chorus. And then from there he moves into that section that was from the original recording, the Marvyn Gaye recording of this, that minor, the A minor 9 chord. Okay, so we spoke about this in the last video, but this is, it's just going to be the 7th fret of the 1st string, 5th of the 2nd, 5th of the 3rd, 5th of the 4th. And here you sort of loosen up the rhythm a little bit more. So you've got that happening there. So he's moving from that A minor 9 chord to a B minor 7 chord. Okay, this is jazz players refer to these as sort of closed voicings. This is, it's just going to be the 7th fret of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, which you're barring with your 3rd finger normally. And you have your 2nd finger on the root note on the B, which is at the 7th fret of the E string. And it's just a really quick passing chord. So you're gonna go. There, and then after that he'll go to the B sus chord to the B, and then the band sort of comes down a little bit, and then that sets him up for the 2nd verse. So the 2nd verse is interesting because the chords start to sort of change around a little bit here. He introduces a few more chords, you know, just to make it, I guess, give it some interest. It doesn't sort of stay, it doesn't use the same chords in the verses. So here, mother, 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 everybody say we're wrong. All right, so starts on the E again, but then he goes to the, has a few different names, but let's just call it a G sharp augmented chord. Okay, and all I'm doing here, and again, it's just a really quick passing chord. It has the G sharp in it, which is the, in fact, we'll go from the top. So this is going to be the 7th fret, not 7th, sorry, it's the 9th fret of the 2nd string, 9th fret of the 3rd, and then you're going to go 10th fret of the 4th, and then you're going to go 11th fret of the 5th. Okay, that's that augmented chord there. And then from there he resolves that to the C sharp minor. So here you can play, I would play it like just a straight C sharp minor, 9th fret, 1st, 2nd, 3rd strings, and then you've got the 11th fret of the 4th string. Okay, so that second verse will go mother, 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 everybody say we're wrong. Then he goes, all right, so there's a lot of sort of chord movement in this part of the song. So at that point, he'll go to, these are, again, working off the E major 7 that we did at the beginning of the song, but he does a chromatic movement up from D major 7, which is the same as the E major 7 shape, 2 frets down, D sharp major 7 into the E major 7. So it's exactly the same chord shape, except you're starting it at the 5th position on the D major 7, and you're bringing it into the 7th position, which has you at the E major 7. Okay, so it's who the judges simply 'cause I was long. Okay, so after that chord, to lead into the 2 chord, which is going to be the F sharp minor 7, he plays another, it's an altered dominant chord. And in this instance, that's the shape there. This chord it's a C sharp 7 with a sharp 5. There's the sharp 5 there. And then he's got the sharp 9, which is that E. All right, so it's a great shape. It's actually a great shape to play if you want to ever use the 5 chord and alter it instead of just playing a straight 7 chord. You can definitely play like a sharp 5 with a sharp 9 in it. So you're altering the 5th and the 9th in this shape. Now to play this, it's the 12th fret of the 1st string, 10th fret of the 2nd, 10th of the 3rd. So I'm using my 2nd finger to bar across those 2 notes. It's really the most efficient way of playing it. And if you haven't learned sort of to bar across 2 notes or more, it's a great thing to try. Definitely practice. And I'm not sure if you can see on that shot there, but I'm bending my 2nd finger outwards to get that barring. And it's a really important technique to get around certain chords, is to learn that. It's almost like a reverse bend of your fingers in order to bar, okay, to put the pressure on at least 2 strings. So I've got that, and then my last note is going to be the 9th fret of the 4th string. It leads us into the 2 chord, the F sharp minor 7. There's those octaves again from the E to the C sharp. There's the B sus again, like we did before. Don't you punish me, F sharp minor 7, with brutality, B sus. Talk to me. So F sharp minor 7, octaves again, so you can see, B sus, what's going on. So there's that chorus again over the E and then the octaves. And then from there, it goes into the solo section. And this is quite a long section, which is the bridge of the song, okay, which takes us back to that A minor 9 shape. Yeah, so he does all those changes. Then he'll do it's a 2/5 modulation. So, okay, so you've got that going on. So that you hear it in the solo. It's a B minor 7 shape, the one we spoke about before, to an E9 as a 2/5. So the E9 chord, if you guys don't know it, is going to be 7th fret, 1st, 7th of the 2nd, 7th of the 3rd, 6th of the 4th string, and then the 7th again of the 5th string. So it does the B minor 7, E9, but then he modulates it one step down to the B flat minor 7, and then the E flat 9. So it's the same shape as before, the E9, but it's just one fret down. So all in all, you have this. You have that sort of movement happening there, and then he's back on that A minor 9, right? Back to that B sus. Okay, so continuing into the solo, it's quite an extended part, as we said before. He just keeps going through those changes. So it's so B sus, and then he does that modulation again. So that happens twice in the solo. You'll hear it. So he just keeps doing that, and then the solo sort of comes to a, I guess like a decrescendo. He brings it down. The band starts to sort of drop out. So heading towards the end of the solo now, you'll hear it's a chromatic modulation down from B minor 7, B flat minor 7. And he lands on that A minor 9. Somebody please, then he does like a vocal sort of part, and then he lands on a C minor 9, which is all of that you could play. It's the same as the A minor 9, it's just up 3 frets. Okay, so this is a 10th fret of the 1st string, 8th of the 2nd, 8th of the 3rd, 8th of the 4th. What's going on? And he finishes on that chord, which is G sharp minor 9. So these are all minor 9 chords, and it's the same shape as before as the A minor 9, the C minor 9. It's the same shape, but this is at the 4th position, and that's kind of the last chord of the song. So all it is the 6th fret of the 1st string, 4th of the 2nd, 4th of the 3rd, 4th of the 4th. Okay, and that's kind of the last chord of the song. That's where it all sort of finishes down. So that's the whole song, at least most of it. There's a lot going on in this song, and I've tried to sort of break down the parts for you to learn. It's one of those songs that you just might need to go back and go through the parts that I was talking about and try to learn them and really learn them and know them, and then put the song on and play along to it, and you will hear all those parts up, because there's so many different sections to this song as far as the chords go and the way the guitar gets around it. One little amendment I probably want to make that I forgot about at the very beginning of the song is when it goes from that E major 7 to the C sharp minor, you do hear little lines in there. So those kinds of lines, they're like those sort of double stop fourths that you often hear, and all it is just barring over the first 2 strings, 7th fret and then 9th fret, and you do that. Okay, and they're little fill-in lines that you can put in. So like put in between the chords. You can add to that if you wanted to. It's pretty straightforward. Or you could probably add this one here at the 12th fret. Right? So they're cool little lines that you can put in between these sorts of chords. So you do hear that through the verses mainly. All right, so I know it's a bit of a long-winded video, this one, guys. So thanks for sticking around and listening. I hope that all sort of makes sense to you, all those sort of parts. Leave any comments you want to underneath in the comments section. Anything I might have missed or anything you guys have picked up on, please feel free. I've tried to be as thorough as I could with this one. So I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and like the videos. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, well, bye for now, guys.